Welcome to the Clarinet Ninja Podcast. My name is Jay Hassler. As always, I'm doing my best to bring you the finest in clarinet information and entertainment. Happy New Year! It is 2026, and thank you, James Danderfer, for playing us in once again today. Are you frustrated with the progress you did or didn't make last year on the clarinet? Happy New Year! Let's get this year to be the best year for you that you've ever had on the clarinet. What I want to talk about today is really the environment which we practice. I've got some PDF documents that are going to help you with this. So go down into the description or the show notes and find your way to those documents because they are going to help you and they are free. Yes, I tell you, free. And when I'm talking about the environment, I'm not talking about your practice space. I'm talking mostly about what's up here in your head. And these are some things that are going to really help you get organized and get in the right mental framework to get your best work done. Most people and clarinet players think that getting the job done has to do with discipline and willpower and working hard. And it kind of does. But I want to switch how we think about that. And I want to think about drive instead of an outside force pushing you to get something done. Think of it as the internal force, the joy, the love of music and the clarinet that's going to propel us forward rather than push us. One thing that I've learned is that our drive can flourish if we're in the right environment, and an environment that allows us to find the most organization, the right attitude, and the right way about going into our clarinet practice. The most important principle here is that you are the same musician, the same clarinetist, the same person, no matter what environment you're in. The difference is that depending on what environment you're in, the opportunities for learning and growing are different. And let's talk about structuring these environments, understanding them, and designing them in a way that's going to help you the most. And let's start with the people that you are around. You've experienced this, I'm sure, where you're sitting next to an amazing player and your level gets lifted up, you're playing better than ever before. And then other times, you're sitting next to somebody who is having a hard time that day or isn't giving it their best effort, or maybe just isn't that great of a player, and your level will also go down a little bit. And that is an indicator, I think, of something that we all know. Proximity matters. Success is contagious. So is mediocrity. So be strategic with who you spend your musical time with. There are 3 people that you need to outwork. The past you that gave up when it was a little bit too hard, or didn't seek out the support you needed when you knew you needed it. The future you that already has what it is that you want, and that voice counting on you to quit. And sometimes in a toxic environment, that's somebody else. A different type of toxic environment with that person, ironically, could be you. You don't need to outwork the world. Just these 3 versions of yourself. And if you do it long enough, you will not only improve, you'll be free. So proximity does matter. But here's the thing. It's not really just about who you are around physically. It's about protecting what's going on inside your mental space. Your mental environment dictates your results and success just as much as your practice room does, maybe even more. So let's look at 3 ways to guard your mental environment. Number 1, guard what enters your mind. One of the ways we traditionally talk about how to guard your environment is that whole idea of not looking at your phone in the first 5, 10, 15 minutes after you get up, because it can be like everybody that irritates you, if you go on social media, is right there. And imagine if they were right there when you woke up in real life, talking to you right when you woke up. That is a terrible way to protect your mental environment. But that is a general human life bit of advice that I'm giving you. You didn't ask for it, but you're welcome. Number 2, be very selective about who you share your musical goals with. And really only share them with people that have earned your trust. In an unfortunate way, not everybody that's in your circle is actually in your corner. That is a tough one to swallow at times. But just because they are in your ecosystem, there's no responsibility for them to be in your corner, and that is okay. There's no problem with that unless you misidentify that person you're around for a person that's in your corner. Proximity doesn't equate to loyalty. alignment what that person does. And again, be proximate to a lot of people. You have things to offer them, they have things to offer you. But just remember who you're actually aligned with and who you're not. So you keep the people in your most trusted circle to be ones that are on your side, working with you and to support you, and you'd better do that same thing for them. Curate your input. Do a social media audit. One of the things that I've found is that social media is amazing to get a lot of information, a lot of clarinet playing, and a lot of things. But one of the things that I've found is that there are certain people who I might actually really like, I just don't like their social media presence. And I've got to figure out who's the right person for me to be following on social media. Because if it's draining me to consume their social media, I don't want that to be a part of my life. I might want them to be a part of my life, but not that to be a part of my life. There are some nuanced distinctions here. But if you find people on social media that you find inspiring, supportive, and I don't want to make you sound like a mercenary, but useful to you, follow them, interact with them. It's a magical thing to be able to do. And remember, comparison can be very, very useful for learning, but it can, at times, be toxic to your identity. Unfollow, mute the people that drain you, interact with the people that inspire you. Social media, we really got to pay attention to it. It can do a lot for us. And hey, by the way, if you're enjoying this, if you're finding this useful, like, subscribe, share it with a friend, do some stuff to help it get out in the world. I would appreciate it. And anyone who likes the clarinet and wants to get better at it might appreciate it too. I hope they do. I hope I'm a person on social media that you find supportive and really engaging, and someone that really does want to help you become the clarinet player you want to be. So we've talked about curating your mental space. Now let's talk about the people you actually need in your musical life. A lot of getting better at the clarinet is certainly how you go about doing it, and that's important. Most of my videos are about that. One of the things we often forget is who you need in your life in order to get the best path towards getting the system to put all the how into. And I'm going to tell you the three kind of avatars, the three kinds of people, there can be multiple versions of each one of these, that you need in your musical life. The first type of person you need in your life is a mentor. And this is a situation where most of the time, it's a teacher of some kind. And that's the normal way in which it goes about. But it doesn't have to be only a teacher. If you're sitting next to someone in an ensemble who's really, really terrific, watch and learn. Don't tell them that you're my mentor. Just internally take things on as if they are. Watch what they do, how they do it, ask questions of genuine interest and excitement. The second type of person you need is a peer partner of some variety. Somebody who's approximately the same level, supports, acts as some level of comfort, but also someone that challenges you. Somebody who you're working together with in order to make the progress that you want to make. In a perfect world, there's lots of these in your life. People that share your joy of music, and a lot of times, specifically, the clarinet. Keep in mind what I said earlier. It's not just about comforting you and making you feel good. It's about engaging in challenges with you. The third type of person you need in your life is some version of a student. Most comfortably, that comes when a person asks for you to teach them something. A lot of times we'll find ourselves in situations where we have information and knowledge and ability that somebody close to us in an ensemble doesn't have. And it's a wonderful way if they come to you with questions and things that they want to be able to do that you can do. All of a sudden, you're in a place where you can do something that is really, really helpful to you, which is go from our original place of understanding and then being able to do it. That's where we are when this person comes to us. And then trying to explain it really adds a challenge and a way for you to refine your ideas and knowledge and ability into something that can be passed along. In doing this, you're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to learn a lot about the clarinet, and you're going to get stronger with the things that you know. And so you can see that this is a very circular thing. In some moments, you're exclusively learning. In some moments, you're sharing. And in other moments, you're doing some form of teaching, hopefully one that is invited. Because if it's not invited or it's not welcome, it is absolutely a situation where you can very inadvertently, with good intentions, become a toxic person. So be careful about that. Now, these three relationships, the way I think about it, comes in this sort of framework where we think of yourself as being in three different types of rooms. The thing to keep in mind is that you are exactly the same no matter what room you're in. You are you. And what we need to do in that situation is find what's going to be the best strategy for us to get the most out of it. Room one is where you're the weakest player in the room. This is a wonderful place to be. You sit and you watch what other people do, how they do it. You absorb things. You ask good questions, and questions that show respect, admiration, and that can get information that you want to help you really elevate your level. Most of what you're going to do in this room is, in a room metaphorically or literally, is don't talk, except ask a question, listen, pay attention, and absorb as much as you possibly can. Room 2 is a very interesting place. And there's a lot of pitfalls in room 2. Room 2 is where you are equal. You're equal socially. You're equal in terms of how you play. Everyone's within the same realm. And this is where you can find your practice buddy, right? And you can find somebody who's working on the same things you are. It's easy to get competitive in this situation. But keep in mind, competitiveness can be very, very helpful in learning. It can also be troublesome. So it's a matter of keeping your authenticity, keeping it kind of in your own house to say you are using your drive to learn how to get better. You're not judging yourself against these other people other than to say, hey, they can do something I want to be able to do. Or how did that happen so fast? What did you do? Like, how did you do this? Share ideas, but ask more questions than you offer examples of what you did. And you're going to be a very popular person in that room. Somebody who's interested in challenging yourself, somebody who's interested in getting better, and using all the people around you in a way that's healthy and non-toxic. And it's going to do a lot for you to think of it that way. And then there's room 3, where you're a stronger player than the people around you. And this is also a very, very interesting room because it's important to keep things to yourself. Be a leader in the same way that when you were in room 1 and you're around mentors, you saw what they did. You saw how they did it. Do that. Be a strong player. Recognize that you're in a place where your leadership skills as a musician and as a clarinetist are offering something to the group in a way that in the other 2 rooms, it's not really happening that way. You're not necessarily in a leadership role. But also keep in mind, the people there, if they're approaching it the same way you are, will ask questions and they will get information from you and you can give it to them. But the gift is what they're giving to you, which is the opportunity to play the role as leader and practice doing those things that you learned in room 1 and talked about in room 2. And so it's a tricky place to be in the sense that it really does take a lot of discretion, let's say, to be helpful, but also recognize in your being helpful. And that might just be not talking and being a strong player for people to come in at the right time, to play the right rhythms, to do all those things, a sort of a model for tone or articulation. Whatever it is that you're offering, just do it quietly. Just do it. If somebody has a question, they'll ask you. And it'll work really, really quite well for you and will really foster the things that you're getting out of the other spaces and environments that you're in. Keep in mind that in room 1, you're not inferior. In room 3, you're not superior. You're the same in all these different rooms. And the reason I'm talking about this is because your approach to learning in all of those situations needs to be strategic so that you can get the most out of the environment that you're in that moment. Keep in mind that you want to be in all 3 of these types of rooms on a regular basis. You want to stay humble, you want to stay challenged, and you want to stay generous. Those are really, really important things, and they have different weights in terms of where you are and how you fit in. There are two different approaches in all of these rooms. One is a growth-centered approach, and this is the wonderful place to be. There's also a way that I think all of us at times want to be recognized for what we've done, the effort that we've put in, and the results that we've gotten. That's a recognition-focused approach. And I don't think it's going to take any of us any time to really recognize who's the more popular person in this situation, and who do other people want around? Because you definitely want to be somebody that other players want around. You want to be somebody that somebody wants in your group. And a growth-minded approach where you are honestly excited, inquisitive, and you really want to get stuff from other people and give things at appropriate times to other people, that's where you're going to find the sweet spot. Because what happens is people either they keep growing, but if they're looking for recognition and not looking for new inputs, people tend to plateau. And this plateau can cause a lot of frustration and anxiety, and it can really grind on us on the inside. When you're the worst person in the room, that's great. When you're the best person in the room, that's great. When you're one of the people in the middle, that's also great. You use your strategy, you figure out how to exist in that environment, and from a selfish standpoint, what can you get from it? And the more honestly you're looking at what you can get from it, I guess that's fundamentally selfish, but at the same time, selfish with benefits to everybody in the room, that's exactly where you want to be all the time. It's always true that an excited, genuinely inquisitive and supportive person is going to function in all these different environments much, much better than if you're missing any of that. Opportunities will multiply if you're that growth-minded person who's asking questions, excited, coming in prepared, doing their best, choosing your times to talk. Really, really important. And this is where, in this group setting, is when you can actually do a lot of your improvement much beyond what you can do on your own. And so these are crucial moments. These are important moments in all of our lives. And I want you to think about how you're functioning in that in terms of how it seems to other people. Important. Way more important is how it's functioning for you and what you are getting from it. So you've got the three people in your life. You've got this room's idea of how to function, where are you, and how can you best service yourself and the people around you. This is sort of the way in which you take the things that you practiced on your own and you really amplify the results from that. And keep in mind, no one needs to know that they're your mentor. No one needs to think that they're your student. You don't need to think you're anybody's mentor. Just do what you do. Be excited about playing the clarinet, ask the questions, get the knowledge, share freely when asked, and you're going to be one of the most popular kids there is. I want to give you one last idea about how to take from other people. And in a way, it's not really taking. They still have it. They've just given it to you also. It's infinite. And it comes from an unexpected place. One of the things I feel very, very fortunate about in my life is that I've had plenty of opportunities on Broadway matinee days to go out to lunch with really wonderful players that I'm working with on a regular basis. Or if you're on tour and you're hanging around before, after, during, whenever, you can find lots of wonderful conversations about how people play their instruments. And it's almost more interesting to talk to people that don't play the same instrument as you. I've learned a lot of things from hanging around with some of the great lead trumpet players in New York, talking about resistance, where they want the resistance. Do they want it in the bore of the instrument? Do they want it in the mouthpiece? Do they want it in the front of the mouthpiece? A big, and to talk, they are as interested in mouthpieces as we are. That shocked me. But why? The why of it and what the results are in their sound is really, really interesting. And there's not a direct one-to-one application of how you can take this information and use it, but it does give a lot of ideas that we wouldn't get from other clarinet players. Talking to a saxophone player about where they play on the reed or how much lip they have out. It's really, really interesting and can give a lot of insight into the things that we already know, the things that we're already doing. Why is it working? Why is it a struggle? How much bow weight does somebody use? And why do they do it? If you're playing a concert, as I have, and Hilary Hahn is a soloist, and you happen to be hanging around with a string player, you can ask them, how is she doing that? What's going on? And those things are some of the most sort of resonant things that I have learned as a musician that I've then taken and applied to the clarinet. Staying curious, staying interested, and authentically excited for other people, what they do and what they know, is one of the most fantastic ways to get new ideas and information to take to your mentor. To say, hey, I was thinking about this, does this apply in any way? And that can open up new conversations with people you're already working with. Maybe the person that sits next to you, a stand partner in a community band, will be able, oh, that's interesting, I never thought of that. This is what I think, this is my initial response. They can take that and go lots of different directions. But let's put this all into a framework that's actually going to help you. Let me organize what we've talked about so far into 4 areas of focus. And they don't happen 1, 2, 3, 4. They happen all at the same time, and that's a key thing to keep in mind. Number 1, our mental energy. Who gets it? Why do they get it? How do they get it? And keeping control over that. Number 2, your musical network. Finding a mentor, finding your peers, finding the people, like your people. Always remember to check your local college, because they have a music program and they have wonderful events going on there, and it's a great way to hear young musicians that are great, that are getting better, and find a way into your musical community. Number 3, our practice systems, our rituals and habits that make success inevitable. And never forget James Clear's quote from Atomic Habits, we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. And number 4, our physical space. It's probably the least important of all of these, but if we've got a clean desk, a clean music stand, we have a clean mind and we're able to focus on those things that we need to focus on. All of these ideas work together. The right mental framework, the right mental place gives you the energy to go out and build your network and find your people. These people then show you the systems that you need, right? You don't have to tell them that they're doing that, but they are doing that. And then those systems, essentially when we get to the end, those systems are what make your success almost a guarantee. I want you to get these PDFs because here's what these PDFs do. It's like having a roadmap to success. It's the difference between hoping that you're going to get better, doing things that people said, but in a way that's not organized and isn't going to give you maximum benefit, to giving you a direct path to success, knowing that it's going to work. Now, let me bring this all together and show you what to do next. The problem with your progress isn't you. Kind of, but we're fixing it today. You're the same musician in every environment. What changes your results are the people you're around, what you consume mentally, and the systems you build. All of these are controllable. Your mental diet is choosable. Your proximity is adjustable. Your systems are buildable. Now, if you're thinking, this all sounds great, but where can I put this into practice? The Clarinet Ninja Dojo was built with all of these principles in mind. It's all 3 rooms built into one. It's a community of growth-oriented adult clarinetists at all different levels. It's that mental environment we're looking for. Inquisitive, supportive, and non-toxic. It's got systems. It's got a plan for you to go through with all the support that you need. Plus, there's a world-class, that's me, clarinet teacher, right there to make sure you're doing all the right things and supporting you in the way that you need. So you're not just getting the mindset and the community. You're getting the systems and the support and everything you need to become the clarinet player you want to be. Step 1, get the workbooks. They're going to give you a pathway, things to fill out, questions to ask yourself to get yourself on the right path. Second step, if you want the full system, the community, the instruction, check out the Clarinet Ninja Dojo, link down in the description or the show notes. This year, don't just set goals. Design an environment where success is inevitable. So get to work on your systems, get your clarinet out, and we'll see you in the dojo.